Yes. So we were talking about the term procrastination, that is putting on task for some next time, right? Now, there are two types of procrastination. One is the negative procrastination, and the other is the positive, yes, delaying. The other is the positive procrastination. Now, let us just talk a little about what is a negative procrastination. Negative procrastination is well defined over here in these two terms. One, in which we simply avoid doing a task. And second is, okay, let me replace this task with some other task. This is what falls under the category of negative procrastination. Then what is a positive procrastination? Have you not seen so many of the children whom you're giving warning each day? Please finish your work, please finish your work. And the child will keep on putting the work for tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. And suddenly on the last day, he or she is suddenly produces the notebook in front of you. How many of you? Yes. This is what positive procrastination does. Positive procrastination is that phase in our life wherein we know that yes, I have the power to finish the work, but I will do it only at the last minute. Probably that gives me that rush, that gives me that adrenaline rush, that gives me that excitement, that gives me that aha moment. See, I know how to manage the things quickly. So positive procrastination is good only if you have the capability to meet that pressure. But most of our children in the classroom are a victim of negative procrastination. Now, what do they do in the negative procrastination? They'll do either two things. I'm putting suppose there is a child in your class who is very spellings, right? And you're dictating the answers. Suddenly, while taking round of your class, while you're dictating, you see that child doing some other subject work. What is that first thing which comes to your mind? What is that first thing that comes to our mind being teacher? Next period. Okay. And what else?
Do test.
Sorry,
maybe test the next period.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Avoiding our class. Oh.
Okay. Why would they not do it in the designated time? Okay. Wonderful. Now, being teachers, this is the very common thought which hits our mind. Oh my God, see, this child is not, focusing in my subject. All he or she is bothered about the other subject. And sometimes we pass the statements like, what if I snatch your notebook? What if I write a note in your notepad and this and that and in your diary? My dear children, sometimes the children are avoiding, yes, sometimes the children are avoiding to write that part which you're dictating because the child is procrastinating, not because he does not want to write. There are many factors behind procrastination. Let us talk a little more about the factors behind the procrastination. Now, first is the fear of failure. Sometimes see, if a child is in habit of simply avoiding doing a task, then there is no other reason other than he thinks he'll be doing this tomorrow. He'll be doing this tomorrow. That is like some other prominent reason. But when I'm talking about replacing one task with other, there are many underlying factors behind that procrastination. The very first factor which comes across us is this fear of failure. What if people get to know that I don't know the spellings? My entire classmates would laugh at me. My teacher would look at me with this, eyes, oh my God, being such a grown-up child, you don't know how to write the spellings. So the child replaces one task with other, probably because he or she is living in fear of failure. Fear of being judged. Now, another example, you are doing auditions for a dance program in your school, right? Wherein the entire class is standing for the dance audition and you have made the children stand in according to the roll number. But whenever you are taking a round, you're observing that roll number 10, whenever you come there, sneaks away. Most of the time, roll number 10 prefers standing. I mean, first round when you took, roll number 10 was standing behind roll number 14. And now when you have taken the round, roll number 10 is standing behind roll number 18. Why is the child doing so? Any answer that comes to your mind?
Shyness.
Okay. Okay. The child is shy, probably. What else can be the reason?
Maybe he or she not exposed in that field first time.
Okay. Wonderful. Very close. You're very close to the answer. See, the
Excuse me,
child
ma'am.
is trying to, yes, ma'am.
Maybe he wants to learn from the other moves of the other children first, and then he will improve upon his.
Here I have got a very good answer in more, like, please, I request you to join with your name, because it's like something, someone Motorola, right, writing this answer. See, the child is procrastinating because the child is in fear of being judged. He is, again, fear of judgment comes when the child lives in fear of low self-belief. All the children around me are wonderful dancers, but I am not. And because I'm not a good dancer, probably my friends, my teachers, everyone sitting around is going to judge me. So whenever you find any child in your class procrastinating, please try to identify what kind of procrastinator is he. Is the child a negative procrastinator? Is the child a positive procrastinator? And how can we identify that? Very simple. If the child is able to finish and produce the work even on the last date, that means the child is a positive procrastinator. He or she has the capability, but keeps on putting the work for tomorrow. Probably that is something which gives him that, boom or adrenaline rush, as we discussed. But if the child is not able to finish the work even on the given line, even after extending the given line, then there certainly are the reasons. There may be some physical reasons, like sometimes the children are going through physical weakness also. Sometimes they have some internal, nutritional deficiencies also, which may not surface up, but those nutritional deficiencies make children go lazy. They do not want to write, or even if they try as much hard as they try, they get tired very soon. So that definitely is a sign of negative procrastination. But remember, there is an underlying factor also. And if you find, now the definition becomes very easy for you to identify the procrastinators in your class. If you find that there are few children in your class who prefer doing task B over task A, so that means you have to, yes, Shobha ma'am, you were saying something.
Nidas.
Sorry. Shobha ma'am, are you saying something?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay, so I was just discussing about, if you identify few children of your class who are preferring doing task B over task A, then please try to find out the underlying factor. What is that one fear in which the child is living? And because of that fear, child is avoiding doing task A. Again, that fear can be fear of low self-belief, fear of being judged, fear of failure, fear of feeling ashamed if people get to know about my weakness. So next time, this is a very important thing. And in the upcoming slides, I'll also tell you how can I'm going to teach you a technique with which, and for that, you actually have to turn your cameras on, and you have to, meanwhile, we'll be shifting to that slide. I would request each one of you to think one task you always prefer to procrastinate. By the time we move to the end of this webinar, I would want each one of you to think of that one task which you always prefer procrastinating. Sir, can we move to the next slide, please? Now, because we have already talked a lot about what are some of the reasons of procrastination. I have selected some points for you which fall under the category. These all are the pointers which will help you to identify the children who prefer doing task B over task A. What are those? Pain, and first is the pain and the pleasure principle. Now, the children who have the game spirit, would they ever want to stay for one more minute in our class? If I'm a maths teacher, would they ever prefer to stay for a single minute more if they know they are lined up for their games period? Would they be? No, not at all. Why? Because their brain is no, let me, leave this homework writing for the last period, or I'll tell my friend to write the homework for me, because right now my brain is producing all those pleasure principle. It's working on the pleasure principle. This is an activity which gives me pleasure, and this is an activity which gives me pain. Writing homework is a painful thing for me, not only because it will make my hands pain, but also when I'll go home, I'll have to finish this. But right now, if I get a chance to go and enjoy my games period, there would be no pain, rather pleasure, right? Then, as we discussed, fear of criticism, judgment, embarrassment, failure. What are those? I mean, all the reasons which are written over here. Remember, my dear children, my dear friends, these all are the reasons which you're going to find in the children who prefer doing task B over task A. Lack of self-belief, as I gave you the example of the dance audition. The child sneaks away from his place to a child who's standing at roll number 14, from there to roll number 18, because what is he trying to do? He is trying to shift his place so that by the time accidentally, if his chance comes, the bell should have already rung, and then he will not have to face that audition. Why? Because he is living in that core negative belief. Everyone else is good except me. And then one of the most important points which we talked about, lack of energy. Energy, when I'm talking, my dear friends, I'm talking about lack of physical energy. I'm not talking about lack of mental energy or lack of emotional energy. Simply here, I'm talking about my body and its boundaries. Sometimes the children want to do a work, but they're not able to do just because their body doesn't allow them to do that work, right? We have seen many children in our classroom who are tired for no obvious reason. I mean, from morning till break, they are exhausted. So after break, if they have eaten lunch, you must have seen so many children just putting their head down and preferring to sleep. Don't we encounter these situations every day? We do. Yes. So can we move to the next slide, please? Now, before I start with this task, may I request all of you to please turn your cameras on, because this audit tool and the last slide is all a task. And I would want each one of you to please pay attention to these tasks, because these are going to help not only you people in your classroom, but also in your personal life. May I please request my lovely audience to turn their cameras on? Okay. So in the previous slides, we talked a lot about stages of life. We talked about procrastination. We talked about belief system. Now we'll be talking about one of the cleansing tool mechanism. Now, when I talk about childhood, remember, all of us, when we were children, whatever memories we made there are still affecting our life. Yes or no? Good, bad, whatever we had to go through in our childhood is what is affecting our current life situation. Yes, if it is affecting us, is this not affecting our students as well? So this is one of the tool which I have prepared for you people. And this is a very helpful tool for helping the students from classes 9 to 12. Why? Because this is that stage of their life when they find themselves stuck in various areas of their life. So if they practice this audit once in 15 days or once in a month, they are going to be benefited a lot. If you want, you can take a picture of this or you can even draw this. I'll be discussing one by one all the blocks of this. Now, in the first box where I have written area of life, what do you have to do? Like suppose, let's try it on yourself. All of you are requested to write at least 5 areas of your life where you feel you are stuck. Any 5 areas, or let us restrict it to 3 areas. Take a paper and a pen. That is why I said in the beginning also to keep a paper and a pen handy. Please write down 3 areas of your life where you're feeling stuck. Okay. In the second box where it is written current stage, I want all of you to write like what exactly is your current stage. Do you feel, I'm badly stuck? Do you feel I can come out of this easily? Do you feel it is impossible for me to come out? Or anything, any detail which you want to write about your current stage, please feel free to write that. Here I want sentences only. And we are talking only about 3 stages, 3 areas of life right now. Now, moving to the third box, I would want all of you to rate the intensity of your current stage from number 1 to 10. Remember, 5 is the midpoint. If it is under 5, it's well and good. If it is more than 5, mention that also. I want exact intensity be assured I'm not going to tell you to share these answers with me. It's only for you so that you remember how do we help the children doing the audit. Once you have given numbers or once you have identified the intensity of your current stage, just close your eyes for a small while and then think of what is your desired stage. Suppose, for example, if my concerned area of life is my health, current stages, I have gained lots of weight. I feel uneasy when I'm walking. It becomes really uneasy for me to breathe easily. And when it comes to intensity, I will give it 9 out of 10. 9 is the intensity of my current stage. My desired stage is to get a healthy body, right? Now, when I audit all the areas of my life this way, I have a clear picture of what is the intensity. Sometimes our children feel, oh my God, they absolutely know nothing. Maths is so difficult, it's really a Herculean task for me to get even 4 marks out of 50 when it comes to solving the sums. Probably that is the current stage which they are describing in words. But when I tell them to describe the same stage in terms of number, they would keep it under 5, 4, probably 7. So now you get a clear idea. Why did I tell you to write the same thing in words also and the same thing in this number also? Because this is something, and then when you talk about your desired stage, you get a fair idea. Okay, how many steps more do I need to go? How many more steps do I need to take to reach to my desired stage? This audit tool is very, very helpful. I can suggest all of you is, if you can make this on a chart, on a chart paper and can display it in your classrooms also. And then, if you can motivate the children, they can draw the same in their diaries or in their separate drawing notebooks or whatever, and then tell them to go through this audit tool every 15 days or at least once in a month to get a clear Because I mean, all those who are here, some may be commerce teachers also. Why do we do audit? What's the intention of doing audit? It's a very simple word. What's the meaning of the word audit?
To just check whether things are going as per the plan.
Exactly. How far have we come? How far do we have to go? This is what audit does for us. So audit is that tool, my dear friends, which helps us not only in getting to know about profits or losses in terms of our work, but also in terms of our life. So this audit tool is one of the most important tools which I use on and off with my children. Can we move to the next slide, please, sir?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain with the example the area of life?
Yes, right now I did. Suppose, ma'am, the area of my life is, let's say, for example, let's say my goal is
Ma'am,
to
may I put that heavy weight maybe? I mean, lot
wonderful,
of weight I
wonderful,
have gained. So
wonderful,
if
wonderful.
that is the
Please go
area of
ahead.
life, then what is the current stage? I'm not exercising or I am exercising. Suppose I'm not exercising. That is the current stage.
Yes, that is the
If I
current
am
stage. So,
exercising, then that is also current stage. If I am
yes,
exercising, that is also
yes,
current stage. Then
yes.
intensity of current stage here will
Hmm.
be what? The weight that I have, the
No, no,
excess
no,
weight
no.
that I have, or
It
what is it?
would be under 5. Now, intensity of current state, see, you're already into awareness phase. I know
Huh.
I'm fat. I know I have to work out. I'm already doing my workout, but probably I'm doing my workout just 3 times a week, just 4
Hmm.
times a week, or even if I'm doing it just for 15 minutes,
Hmm.
right?
I mean, not
So what?
serious, maybe.
Yes, maybe not serious. So what will be the intensity of my current stage? I am into awareness current stage, but the intensity is kind of moderate.
Moderate. Okay.
So if it is moderate, ma'am, which number would you give it?
Either 5 or something, 4 or 5, something like
Probably
that. Okay.
6.
Okay.
Probably 6, right?
Awareness is there because of.
Yes. And my desired stage is what? I want to reach to number 10.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So if I have to reach to number 10, my audit shows it clearly that I have to work on my current stage. Current stage means I have to, increase my workout time from 15 minutes to half an hour. I have to increase my workout days from 3 days a week to at least 5 days a week. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Well,
ma'am.
welcome, Punita ma'am. I hope it's clear for you also.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I said well
Welcome.
explained.
Welcome. Can we move to the next slide, please, sir? And when we are moving to next slide, I mean, after explaining this slide, I request, sir, sir, after having explained this particular slide, can we stop sharing for a while? Because I have to make my friends practice a technique which is going to help them for, overcoming procrastination.
Sure, ma'am. Should I stop it now itself?
No. So just a
After.
little
Okay,
explanation.
fine.
Yes. Dealing with procrastination. Here are 3 alphabets written: A, I, A. The first A stands for awareness. I stands for intention. And the last A stands for action. Now, for some of you, it may be AIA. How is it going to help? For this, now I request, sir, to please stop sharing, and I request all of you to put your cameras on, because this is something in which I want your active engagement. Wonderful. I can see 2 cameras on. Can I see some more cameras on, please? Thank you, Padmavati ma'am. I can see 3 cameras on. If more cameras can be turned on. Okay. No worries. Now, I request all of you to sit on a very silent and a proper place, because this is something for which you have to use your imagination. I mean, you can take time of a minute to settle down. Only then we'll be starting with this activity. And then we'll discuss a little about this AIA. Okay? Have you all thought of one action or one thing which you always procrastinate? Have you all thought about it? Yes? Show me a thumbs up if yes. I'm not going to ask you what's that habit. You can keep it. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, please close your eyes. All of you, please close your eyes. Just think only about that one thing which you procrastinate right now. Just bring that idea. Let that idea take complete charge of your mind. There should be nothing else in your mind but that one thing which you procrastinate. While thinking about that, start breathing. Breathe from your nose and breathe out from your mouth. This should be deep breathing for 7 times. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. While you are into the process of inhaling and exhaling, become aware of that thing which you procrastinate. That idea and your breathing should be in sync with each other. It should be in sync with each other. While bringing breathing and that idea of procrastination in syncing, please give this procrastination a name. Find out the reason why you procrastinate. Now you all know the reasons. Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of being judged? Is it a low self-belief? Is it your physical inhibition? What exactly is it? I want each one of you to name that feeling, to name that reason. Why are you procrastinating? Keep on inhaling, keep on exhaling. While doing this, connect to the idea of procrastination and name it. After having named it, then just try yourself to remind there should be a reason why. I mean, why are you putting it for tomorrow? Just try to identify. I want you to be very specific with the reason. Why are you putting it for tomorrow? After having found the answer, why am I putting it for tomorrow? Please try to question yourself. What is the pain if I do not do this? What is the pleasure if I do not do this? Let your mind go through both. Your mind right now should answer both the questions. What is the pain if I do not do this work? Or what is the pleasure if I do not do this work? Or what is the pleasure if I do this work? Be very clear with your intention. Is intention of pain stopping you? Now, this is the time when you have already identified, when you know what is intention. Now, this is the time for you to make an action plan in your brain. You know what is the pain of not going to school tomorrow. You know what is the pain of not completing your documents by tonight if tomorrow is the deadline. Right? So, I mean, this is how we actually train our mind. Whenever we procrastinate something, then, sit silently for a while. Close your eyes for a while. bring yourself into awareness stage. How do we bring ourselves into awareness stage? When we sit with that feeling for a while, I am procrastinating. And why am I procrastinating? Is there any principle of pain or pleasure which is stopping me from doing that? After having identified the intention, the third thing you need to act is on the action plan. I hope this mind map is very clear in your mind. Now, once if you're prepared with your action plan, please open your eyes. Okay, appreciation, wonderful. Now, see, whenever you find yourself or your children stuck in this loop of procrastination, tell them to do this. Tell them to sit. And when I'm in the first phase where I told you to sit silently and focus on your breathing, that was the first stage of first alphabet A, that was awareness. What did I do? I tried to bring you people into awareness stage that yes, I am procrastinating. Then second I, which was intention, I made it to that conclusion. What is the intention behind procrastination? Is the intention of pain, or is the principle of pain which is stopping me? Or if I procrastinate, I get a certain, some kind of pleasure. That was your intention clarifying. And once you are clear with your intention, then your action, you always should be remembered of first 5 minutes. First 5 minutes, if you invest in doing anything, trust me, nothing can stop you. My words, my thoughts may seem like, oh, ma'am, come on, it's easy for you to say, but we know how tough it is for getting the students do their work. And this, yes, I am also a teacher. Till the day I go into the classroom, I deal with classroom teaching every day. But trust me on this, my dear friends, I regularly practice this audit technique, this procrastination, how to deal with procrastination, and many other techniques which bring my children back to the track. Right? So I hope you enjoyed learning these two techniques. So the last slide of the PPT, if you can share. Thank you, Shobha ma'am. So can we have a look at the last slide, please? Only the last slide. Yes, so here I am towards the end of my webinar. Again, as I share my contact information, my Instagram ID, the book written by me with all of you here, I'm sharing this information again. And with this, we move ahead towards the question answer round. If you have any questions, you can ask me. So we can stop sharing. Yes. And also, I would love to get some lovely feedbacks from all of you. Any person has a question, please feel free to ask about the techniques we learned, about the discussions we had.
There is a child who
Yes, ma'am.
his father went under some mental problems, and but now he's okay. But then the
Okay.
child was fine at that time. He was doing well. He was studying well. But now he has gone into quietude. He became so quiet. He doesn't mix with anyone. He sits all alone and all that. And also he doesn't do his work properly. And then the teachers were telling that he should, maybe he is not able to understand or something like that, they were saying. But then and they wanted him to go for counseling and all. So what do you think? He should go for counseling, or what is it he should do with that?
Definitely, ma'am. Counseling is the most important thing needed over here. See, the child is not confiding in anyone, right? The child is not finding a confidant. Either teacher should become the confidant so that child is able to open up what is going inside him, right? That is why, ma'am, I always insist on, we are no more classroom teachers. We are classroom counselors now. right? So the
Mhm.
very first thing is we have to ensure the child that, yes, I am your confidant and you can, vest in your trust in me. If still the child has some inhibitions, because any which ways for making a child come out of those inhibitions, sometimes we need special vocabulary, sometimes we need special setup and all. When I say setup, ma'am, I'm talking about a separate room where the child knows he's safe and no one is going to, let the secret be revealed and all. Then in that case, ma'am, definitely please take the child to the counselor, because this going aloof is the very first and the silent sign of the child's drifting into depression. And
Okay.
it doesn't show all of a sudden, ma'am, but with the passage of time, there will be visible changes in child's behavior. Either he'll become, too quiet, or he'll become very aggressive in nature. For no obvious reason, the child will, start fighting with
Mm.
the other children, and also that will be a big trouble then for all of you, ma'am.
Hmm. He's actually a single child, and his mother is so worried. He doesn't talk, and if she goes into his room, he'll just send her out. If your presence disturbs me, like that, he tells, and he doesn't.
See,
I
ma'am,
mean, if I give your number, can you, I mean, will you be able to talk to him, to
sure,
the
sure,
child?
I will, ma'am. Sure,
Oh,
I'll
sorry
be.
for the interruption, ma'am.
Yeah.
I request all the people, as this is a very sensitive subject, I understand that many of you have doubts, you want to approach ma'am and all. So madam will be leaving her phone number here. You people can
Oh,
directly contact ma'am, and because already we have crossed the time and we have done
yes.
20 minutes more. Yeah. So
Ma'am, the session was really wonderful, ma'am. Wonderful. It was
Thank,
so many
thank
techniques we have learned. It's excellent. We
you
can
know,
use
ma'am.
them in our class. Yes, thank you so much.
No,
yeah.
these are the things which make my, and I never can resist myself clicking the pictures when I'm with
So
my.
I quickly on my camera because you're going to click a pic.
Sorry, I'll
So
click that again then.
Yeah.
It is these feedbacks are the things, ma'am, which make our heart like swell with happiness. And this is like, okay, all my hard work has paid off because all the people sitting here are benefited. There was a question in the chat box. Okay. See, ma'am, Shobha ma'am, first we have to recognize the reason, like, is the child actually rebel? Because again, if I dwell into discussion of being a rebel, then it will take me another hour or so, because according to me, there is 20% of chances that a person is rebel. 80% of the situation through which I look is like the person is expressing. Right, it's we who cannot take. Now I'll just come across with a very simple statement. Right, today I made dal and rice. Fine, my son does not want to eat dal and rice. He's constantly insisting on, nahi, I want to have butter chicken, I don't want to have dal and this and that. So because eating dal and rice is something, it's a free session. Okay, eating dal and rice or making dal and rice was my comfort. So if my child is demanding for something which his taste buds are insisting, I will not take a minute in telling him a rebel. You are a rebel. You always have to do whatever you want to do. You do not care about me. Now, be very honest with me. Is my child actually being rebel, or he's just expressing a small desire to eat what his heart wants to eat? A very unbiased answer I want. No, ma'am, it's not. See, I took the example so that I can get some beautiful answers from all of you.
Are
See,
we becoming judgmental when we say that he is rebellious at that time?
yes, ma'am.
Just because
See,
he doesn't like.
exactly. The number which is 6 from my point of view has to be 9 from your point of view. That doesn't mean either of us is a rebel, right? It's all
Mhm.
the word rebel we use when the person or his behavior is not setting into my confined boundaries. Yes,